Hello and welcome to Primary Teaching with Kyle. My name is Kyle and I'm a primary schools teacher. In this kind of little, but in this special video, we're just going to be talking about kind of 1 year on since my kind of worst experience in primary schools, in my short career so far as a primary schools teacher, how it happened that I left the school that I started my ECT journey with after 6 weeks, where I am a year later, kind of any tips and tricks that I could give to any future teachers, really, because the big thing is just making sure you choose the right staff. But yeah, it was quite therapeutic for me to talk about 1 year on where I am now, what I did then, how that worked then. Maybe any of you could listen to that, and then you might hear some similarities, or you might hear some things that you could kind of look out for in your own current job, kind of red flags, that type of thing. So yeah, please have a watch, and if you haven't already, give it a like, give it a subscribe when you can. I'm on Instagram as well if you ever want to talk about anything, especially ECT related. Thank you. So let's talk about the 1 year on and the worst part of my teaching career so far. So it was 1 year ago, well, this week, next week, kind of around this time when I left my first school. So this time last year, as you might have seen in other videos, or I can link it down below, but I joined straight after my 1 year PGCE. I joined a school as a first year ECT teacher, as a year 5 teacher, full-time year 5 teacher in a kind of local school where I live. I'd been to that school. I went to the interview in June, and I'd got the job, and then I went and did some days there, kind of I was going to say sitting around, but helping out with that class and getting to know them. Then I also did the transition day. Throughout the summer, I did a lot of planning my classroom, looking through the schemes, and all that sort of stuff. The big thing, that's the big context, I think, that I don't know if I've mentioned in the previous video or anything, but definitely the big thing that needs to be mentioned is that when I applied for the job and had my interview, it was a different head teacher to the one that when I was arrived. So the head teacher that gave me the job retired in the summer, and when I joined, it was a new head teacher. Also, the context that's still happening now in my new school this year, but I'm less. We'll get into it in a bit, but I'm less worried and stressed about it. But I didn't have any of the ECT logins, training, anything like that. So you should have had a week or two before. So I know another teacher who was on my uni course with me, so she should be starting her ECT job the same time as me, because she's starting to, so I should have had, my school should have signed me up with a provider to do the ECT training, and then throughout the summer they should have sent me over the documents and stuff to look through to see how the ECT training works, what your kind of module is going to be on. And then you should have had a big open day conference a couple of weeks before school starts, like a Zoom one. And it, introduce you to what to expect and everything like that. And then week 1, you should have started on your ECT training, which is like, weekly observation, video to watch about the particular strand that you're looking at, and then a weekly quiz on it. So I didn't get any of those. I don't know whether it was a school issue, whether it was a DFE issue, whether it was an ECT training provider issue, but I didn't get any of that. It did sign up, I think it was in week 2 or week 3 of my first year job, that I finally got the ECT training. And conveniently, it was about behaviour. So the first half term was all about behaviour. And that was an issue that kept coming up with my conversations with the head teacher. Looking back, I can say this now, a year later, and after I've had almost a year's worth of supply teaching, and I'm now in a different school, so I've been in at least 3, 4, 5 different schools since then. That school was rubbish in terms of the support given, in terms of the leadership, in terms of just everything. It was very much set up for experienced teachers to be independent in the way they taught, which is brilliant if you want to teach that way, in terms of different teachers are doing different schemes of work. So for maths, one teacher might be using White Rose, the maths, the other teacher might be using this. They were in the process with the new head teacher of making everything common across the school, making sure everyone's doing the same schemes. Also had issues with my TA. So in that school, they didn't have TAs in the afternoons. There was a child in my class who needed a one-to-one for SEN/behaviour issues. And that one-to-one was off ill for the first 2 weeks, I think, or 3 weeks. So that made it much harder. There wasn't any supply for that one. And then the other TA that I was given, the kind of main TA, was only in 3 days a week. I don't know why they chose that, and I still look back at it and I still think it's horrendous. For a brand new ECT, they had a TA who was in Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And I just think, what a stupid decision. And I had issues, actually, both myself and her had issues about how to deal with behaviour, how to deal with classroom. I think she started it in terms of the chats with the head teacher, but I definitely went and had a chat with the head teacher and said, myself and this TA are not working. We are not on the same wavelength. We are not in the same there. And looking back, if I'm going to be negative towards myself, I definitely could have been more, and that is still an issue now. I definitely need to improve on my behaviour side of it, my classroom management side of it. But looking back, it was just horrendous. Just the amount of support I got. So basically, I got kind of pushed out, and I kind of jumped before I got pushed out, really. I had a couple of chats with the head teacher and the business manager about what to do. Are you doing okay? What's the right thing for you? I had one chat where it was basically given an ultimatum of, you either can do these things in the next week or two, or we're going to have to think about letting you go. It's a week. So what can you do in a week? What things can you change? And every single time, I think I had 3 or 4 meetings in total before the final meeting. And every single meeting I had was every single meeting that kind of the constructive criticism that they gave me, I took it on board, and I kind of tried to enact it. So it's still really hard to think about, a year later. I just feel so many things. I feel guilty. I feel nervous thinking about it. I hate it. I feel angry. I feel mad. I feel sad. I feel so many different emotions because I feel I never got closure on it, because it was literally the week before half term, the meeting, and it was like, yeah, we want you to go. We're happy for you. You can either stay on. So the options were really stay on until the end of Christmas, but then you'd have to be doing some performance management things. And then if you don't pass those, you can actually get fired, which then obviously would affect your ECT 2-year progress. Or you can go now, and you can hand in your notice as a resignation, and we will keep you on until December, and then you can leave, but we'll keep you on the payroll until December, and you can go and do some supply. And they were talking about, supply being the best thing for me, going and get more experience. Maybe I didn't have enough experience during COVID because I only did 1 year, and a lot of it was on Zoom and stuff like that. And they might have a valid point there. They might have a valid point that I needed experience and I needed support. But my argument is I didn't get any support. I had 2 observations of my lessons. I had 1 observation of another teacher, and that really annoyed me as well, because he was a 3rd-year teacher or a 2nd-year teacher, and he come and took my class, and I observed him, and he did better with the class. And then that was their proof of, well, it's you, not the class. And that was their proof of going, well, he can do it. But his background, his father and his background was an army. He's much younger. He's 3rd year in, and I hadn't done that. I've been 10 years worth of teaching assistant and PE teachers, and no ECT training, no tips on how to improve this, no support, TA support. So, yeah, but on the positive, a year later, I know what I'm looking for now in schools. The school I'm in right now is brilliant. Even if I was there full time, which I'm not because I'm there 3 days a week, but even if I was there full time, the support I have from the head teacher and the deputy head, who's actually my co-teacher, is amazing. And I just think you've got to choose the staff. It's the staff that's the big thing about the school. The staff is the people that you see every day. And the thing that stuck with me since I left that school is none of them have got in contact with me. I left on I can't remember when it was, on the Tuesday or the Wednesday or whatever it was. I didn't finish that last week of school, which absolutely killed me. And the head teacher and the school business manager went to go and have a meeting with everyone to let them know that I was gone. And I went home, but none of them tried to contact me. None of them come and talk to me the next day. And that was it. I had one conversation with my kind of mentor at that school when I did leave, and she just said I did everything with dignity, and I took everything with a chin because there's other people that wouldn't have done it that way. I just said, well, yeah, but you're not helping me at all. You're meant to be my mentor, and you didn't bat for me at all. You didn't say anything. You didn't try and help me at all. You didn't offer any more support than what was already there, which was nothing. So, yeah, a year on. So get that out. A year on, much better place, much better mental place, much better place in my career. I'm ready to start ECT training again. Ironically, still don't have any ECT training yet. DFE still still struggling with things. Still haven't got an ECT training yet. I'm in week 5, but to be honest, I don't really care at the moment because I'm getting experience with teaching. I've had a year's worth of supply teaching, and I'm at a good school where I can learn things. I want to get started with the ECT training because obviously it's a 2-year thing, but I'm learning everything on the job. So I will get ECT training, and I'm not worried that because I'm not getting ECT training, I'm struggling with this. And I'd be very open with this new school about the issues that I had and the worries that I have about my weaknesses in terms of behaviour management and classroom management. So yeah, we'll see, but that's an area to work on. But yeah, I just wanted to put this out there for any teachers or anything that are in a similar position. Just I think the big tips I can think of is just try and meet the staff as much as possible, get an idea, and know that just because one school is crap or one set of teachers or staff is crap, there's plenty out there. It does not mean you have to leave teaching. But yeah, thank you very much.